Now, when our house burned, all of my customers sent me cards and gift cards and reached out to me, except for the company I work for.
Oh.
And so when we moved back in our home, we had been back in our home a week, and I got a call from the owner, and he said, "We've decided we're going to close your office. We don't need you anymore." And I reached out to one of my customers had called me, and he said, "Well, Michelle, you don't need them. We don't do business with them. We do business with you."
That was the voice of Michelle Boyd, entrepreneur and saleswoman extraordinaire. Michelle built a business after getting the short end of the stick from her previous employer. Michelle has hustled her way from that moment to one of the best businesses you've probably never heard of in West Tennessee. Welcome to 40 by 45, the West Tennessee Business Podcast, sponsored by Tennessee Industrial Printing. Michelle, welcome to 40 by 45. Thank you for being here today. Before we came into contact, I had not heard about your business. Because you sell a very niche product.
Yes, I do.
And so I think to help the rest of the conversation make sense to people, let's talk about what you sell.
Okay. I sell thread that goes in dog food bags, charcoal bags, sugar bags, fertilizer, some in some cable.
Yeah.
Things like that.
But not the thread that makes the bag. It's the thread that seals the bag.
Yes. Our claim to fame is you'll never be able to get this bag open because the thread won't break. But technically, you should be able to rip this out and open the bag.
So for those of you that are listening, when you get a big bag of feed or seed or something, or even maybe like a charcoal.
Yes.
Not necessarily your thread, but that product is.
I hope it's my thread.
Yeah, I hope it's your thread. At the top, there's like a sewn thread, and you pull that to open the bag.
Right. And it's the piece of paper, too, that goes over the top that is sewn through.
And what's the paper called?
It's called crepe sewing tape.
Crepe sewing tape. Yes. Okay. So that's a very niche product that apparently you sell a lot of.
Yes, I sell millions of pounds.
So, and what types of companies, and you don't have to say specific ones if you don't want to, but like what are some of the types of companies you sell to?
I sell to Producers Rice in Riceland in Arkansas. I sell to Domino Sugar. I sell to Land O'Lakes, to their feed division, fertilizer, just Cargill.
Yeah. If it goes in a big, heavy bag.
Yes, and it's a lot of bulk bags that go to like schools, hospitals.
Okay. Yeah.
There's not as much bagging like this done for personal use anymore.
Yeah.
It's more so for farming. A lot of like for Duncan Hines, say, they were to make their cake mixes and need flour. So they would buy this flour in these huge bulk bags and bring it in. So that's typically, it's more industrial than it is for personal use.
Yeah. The older I get in life, the more I realize there's like little universes to every little thing.
Yes.
And so like, and it's also like not a ton of your customers are local, right?
No, it's very hard to sell local.
and so it's like most people wouldn't necessarily come into contact with you in the business world.
No.
So it's very interesting to have you on here. And I think, as far as I know, you have the notoriety in my life of being the first person that I've met that worked at the Bemis mill.
Yes, I did.
So then that's kind of where you got started.
I was probably the last group of employees that did work at Bemis Mill before it closed and was torn down.
So the Bemis mill, for those of you not in Bemis listening, which is probably most of you, was a hugely significant employer in the Bemis area, which is South Jackson.
Yes.
What was the Bemis mill? What did they make at the Bemis mill?
We actually, it was like a 7-story building, and every level had a different type of manufacturing on it. So when the trucks would come in, they would bring in the cotton, and it would be cleaned and ginned on the first level, and then so forth go up. We sold a lot of thread, and we made it there, which honestly, you can't even buy
Made in America
thread anymore. You can buy the raw material, or the finished product. You can't buy the raw material. You can buy the finished product. We have to get the raw materials overseas. But the finished product is twisted and wound here in the States now. But you can't get. But the mill actually made a lot of fabric too.
Okay.
So there was a weaving floor and.
So why did the mill end up closing? If you had to conjecture, maybe.
Because it went overseas.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a phenomenal building.
Mm-hmm.
Like the architecture, everything about that building was incredible. It was made of stone and brick and hardwood floors. And I think people even bought bricks when they tore it down.
Mm-hmm.
And the main office is still there. I drove by the other day and I'm like, oh, my office is still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not sure exactly why they decided to tear it down. I feel like it could have been used for some purpose.
But the business left because everything moved overseas for that.
Yes, it
making
did.
that thing. So you come in, you're on the last sales team there.
Yes.
Is that kind of your start in this industry?
It was in 1989.
And after the mill closed, what did that mean for you?
Because United Foods bought the mill and they kept it open a couple of years and then of course they closed it. And so I moved to Nashville, went to work for a nurse staffing company, just looking for something to do. And I had been there maybe a year, and the director of sales at the mill contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in selling thread again for a company out of North Carolina. And so I came to work for her, came back to Jackson, started working for her, spent about 5 years maybe with her. Mm-hmm. And then in the early 90s, actually it was the late 90s, I went to work for a manufacturer out of North Carolina.
Okay.
And I worked for them for 9 years. And then in 2005, I started this company. No, 2006.
And now during that time, were there a lot of women working in this space?
No. I was in a very male-dominant industry, very male.
And did that affect, so obviously I've never had to deal with that situation. Did that affect, did you feel like that affected your work?
Oh, it affected it in two aspects. The plant that I worked for, the manufacturing facility out in North Carolina, was all males. Mm-hmm. All the sales team were male. It was owned by a male, and they would go to the Masters every year and celebrate and do all things, but I was never included in that. Mm-hmm. And they had us labeled as A, B, and C salespeople, and I was B and sometimes A. Well, they didn't like that because I was working while they were playing. So, but also the customers that I deal with absolutely love a Southern lady. And it works to my benefit. And I don't discriminate, but if you don't have a good Southern voice, I don't need you.
Fair enough. So you get back in the thread industry, you're working for someone else. And you mentioned 2005-ish, you started your own.
Yeah, it was 2006 that I started TSS.
What was the triggering point for you to say, I'm going to do my own thing?
Well, our house burned in 2005, and it was a total loss. So we were out of our home for a year. And when we finally got back in our home, the company that I worked for called. Now, when our house burned, all of my customers sent me cards and gift cards and reached out to me, except for the company I worked for. Oh. And so when we moved back in our home, we had been back in our home a week, and I got a call from the owner, and he said, we've decided we're going to close your office. We don't need you anymore. And I was like, what? He said, yes, I'm going to need you to send me your computer. We're done. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. So first and foremost, when my house burned, I got a new computer on my own and I paid for it. Mm-hmm. So I said, this computer's mine. You can't have my computer. And I reached out to one of my customers had called me, and he said, well, Michelle, you don't need them. We don't do business with them. We do business with you. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, wow. Okay. And so I really didn't think I could do it, but I did. I did it.
So you go through this traumatic experience of losing everything.
Everything. 3 kids.
3 kids. And they just decide to, and you've seemed to have had success.
Oh, I was very successful. What they wanted me to do is they wanted me to have, which I could tell there was a plan there later looking back, but they wanted me to have my customers call in or email their orders in. They did not want me to contact my customers. They wanted me to only contact new business. Well, that's not how you establish a relationship. You don't have relationships with people you don't talk to.
Yeah.
And there's no loyalty when you don't talk to somebody.
Sure.
So I basically refused to do that. I was not going to give up my relationships.
Yeah.
Which is very much to my...
Led to the next stage if possible.
Yes. To being very successful.
Haven Insurance Partners is a locally owned independent insurance agency. Haven takes your risks, whether personal, commercial, health, or life, and approaches many different insurance companies on your behalf. This allows them to find different coverages and price points for you. At Haven, they believe you deserve options, and they want to help you explore those. Visit haveninsurance.com to find better coverage today. ATA is a leading advisory, tax, and accounting firm. From tax planning and client accounting services to advisory and assurance, ATA has got you covered with locations throughout West Tennessee and the Southeast. They have an expert nearby to support you. Let's amplify your business together. Contact the ATA team today at ata.net. Please to do your own thing.
And also, I have to add this, when I started working for them, they gave me a non-compete.
Yeah.
Well, I threw it away. And so then when I started reaching out to customers, they reached back out to me and said, you signed a non-compete. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'll need to see a copy of it.
Yeah.
I knew they didn't have a copy of it.
Yeah.
So I was free to do what I wanted to do.
So some HR person
Failed
to follow her checklist.
Yes.
Which is why.
And I reached out to their competitor.
Yeah.
And said, hey, you want to sell me thread?
Yeah. So, so that was about 20 years ago.
No, we celebrate 20 years next year, next August.
And you've grown a lot during then. I spoke to Steve Pitcairn about you.
Yes.
And he had some thoughts as to why you've been so successful.
Oh.
Michelle has more drive than anybody I've ever met. Her ability to close sales, there is no one like that. She combines personality, persistence. She will do whatever it takes to close a deal. And those people are so pleased with her and her service. And I laugh about it. She competes against the companies that make the thread. And she outdoes them. She knows how to negotiate prices, her knowledge of the product, her drive, and not only that, her faith. She is extremely strong with faith.
Yeah, so pretend that I don't know anything about selling. Give me a salesman 101. What do I need to know if I'm going to start selling stuff?
If you're going to start selling stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I had a customer tell me one time in Arkansas, and it was Southern Bag, huge company. And I called him all the time. He was mean to me. He ruined my day. He would hang up on me. And one day he said, Michelle, fine, I'm going to buy thread from you. And I said, yay, why? And he said, because you're not going away. And I think that's the key. You can't go away. You can't take no for an answer. It's not personal. You're talking to people. I modeled telemarketing way before COVID.
Okay.
And so we had it under control long before COVID. And so when you talk to somebody on the phone, you have to be smiling. I don't care what's going on in your day. You have to look at something, do something that makes you smile and makes you happy. And they have to hear that over the phone. And when you have a Southern drawl and you're calling a man who's been screamed at by plant employees, customers wanting things, and you have this lady that calls you and says, can I sell you some thread? They're like, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that is key. I mean, persistence, and you just don't take no for an answer, ever.
How do you balance, and I think about this in selling, how do you balance not being annoying? Or do you care?
No, because I don't want to be annoying. I hate to say this, but I'm not a used car salesman. I'm selling you something that you have to have to manufacture your product.
Sure.
I'm not selling you something that that you could get from anybody. I have very little competition. And Steve was right. I actually do compete against the manufacturer, but a lot of times the manufacturer sends me the customers. They're like, you're way better at handling customers.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk to them. And so they send them to me, which is even better.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I give them a better price.
Yeah. I don't understand how that works. That's just the magic, I guess.
It is.
That's pretty wild. Over 20 years, you've seen some things, and like you went through 2008 slowdown, other economic slowdowns. How do you navigate the economic slowdowns as a business owner?
Okay, so as Steve mentioned, my faith is enormous. I can remember my dad making me take the ACT 3 times. He said, "You're not that dumb." And I was like, "No, but I can't sit still long enough to look at this thing." I'm like, "Just circle, 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 circle." And he's like, "Okay, take it again, take it again, take it again." I went to college at the University of Memphis. I hated it. I mean, I hated it. But something about this I felt good at it. So I knew that this was my chance in life to do this. Like if I wanted to be successful, this was going to be my means. I didn't have the college knowledge. I didn't have anything that you would typically need. I was smart enough to engage with some smart business partners initially, but a long story to say, my company started in 2006. I started out making $100 a week. And we have increased our sales every single year for 20 years. It has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with anything other than, I believe. Steve told me, he said, "I need you to write out 5-year goals." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know that I'll last 5 years." So I had a few goals. Well, the Lord exceeded my goals within 2 years. And Steve's like, "Okay, you need to write out 10-year goals." I'm like, what's going to look, I have no idea. My initial drive starting this company was to put my kids through private school. That's all I wanted to do. And the Lord said, "I have way bigger plans for you."
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the size of those plans. So you sell a lot. But so you can't just do that locally. So like
all over the world.
Like literally all over the world.
Yeah. Haiti, Belize, Canada. And then we ship to people who ship to people. So we do a lot of freight forwarding. So we'll ship to Miami and ship to Freeport. And then they ship overseas with bags. So we sell to a lot of bag manufacturers too. And so they will put our thread with their bags and send them overseas to be bagged.
Yeah.
Like sugar, a lot of the sugar and rice, a lot of the rice goes overseas.
So all over the world, doing a lot of things. You mentioned this just briefly. You started with some partners.
Yes.
But you eventually bought them out.
I did.
Can you talk about the process of like starting with partners and then moving to buy them out? Like partnerships come up a lot in this show. And they're
sticky.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
So buying someone out, how do you navigate that sort of thing?
Oh, lots of prayer. I actually went to church with both of them, and they were huge parts of this company. I don't think I would be as successful as I am today without them in the beginning.
Yeah.
The Lord knew exactly what I needed. I didn't know what I needed. And they came in and did what needed to be done to set the foundation. I think foundation is always key with a company. And how you start it depends on how it succeeds. I was told in the beginning, you'll never make it past 5 years. Small businesses just don't make it. And so we made it past 5 years. But I think they were a huge part of that.
Yeah. And, but you didn't just go to just be yourself. You've got a team and things. And the other complicated thing with partners is sometimes family is complicated. But you do business with family. I
do. I fired my oldest daughter 3 times. She's currently working for me with marketing right now. But I've always been told you don't mix business with pleasure. You don't mix business with religion. But if you have a relationship with a customer, it's all of them.
Yeah.
you have to have boundaries. And I have my middle daughter works for me now. She went to UTC and graduated with a degree in marketing. She came to work with me. We actually did an internship with her and let her work with us. She did fabulous.
Yeah.
She was so good. So she's currently my rock star.
Yeah.
She is.
Well, Steve talked about working with families, and I
Yeah.
want to play a clip from Steve. Tennessee Industrial Printing is West Tennessee's commercial printer. They have built their reputation on delivering on time, on budget, and on target. Tennessee Industrial Printing delivers on complex printing projects, mailing projects, and fulfillment services. With a fleet of presses, they have positioned themselves to handle small and large volume jobs. I have been able to work with tips with many of my clients' projects, and they have delivered every time. Wayne and his team have continuously invested to ensure they have an efficient and effective option for commercial printing. Start your next project at tipsprints.com.
I give her so much credit. She openly hires family members. Her and Larry, I remember when they started working together, it was like War of the Roses, but now they're a well-oiled machine. I think she's hired all of her children at one time or other. Kennedy is still working with her. I just laugh about it. And she pushes them harder than anybody else. But I give her so much loyalty because she wants to build a family legacy.
So Steve mentioned you've worked with all your family. You've talked about that. A lot of people, that doesn't go well for folks. How have you found a pathway to success with working with family? Like, how does one, if you were to be telling me how to work with my family and be successful, what do I have to do that?
Well, I have higher expectations of my family than I have of the rest of my team. I'm a tough love girl. And I really try to separate business and family. Like, yes, we go to dinner and we talk about it, but we try to limit that conversation. When we started the company, Larry and I's office was very close to each other. We built him a barn, and he has his own office now off the property, and he'll say, traffic's busy, it'll take me about 3 minutes to get home today.
Yeah.
So we stay far apart, but he's the money Nazi, and I would probably not, I know I would probably be in jail if it wasn't for him.
Someone's got to pay the bill.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay the bills, and somebody's got to say, stop embezzling money from yourself.
So as the company has continued to grow, are you still doing sales, or how have you built the company up? I will say that I'm semi-retired. Okay.
I try to leave a lot to my daughter. I have an incredible right-hand person, Becky. She worked with me at Bemis Mills.
Okay.
And so she was our sales assistant there. So it was very easy to take her on. We actually hated each other in high school. We're not friends. But she knows my expectations, and she makes sure that they're done. She holds the sales team accountable. I'm not a micromanager. I think that's so important. Every person that I have hired, I have prayed fervently for. And like this last employee that I hired, I prayed for her for a year. And we desperately needed somebody, but we had a bad experience previously. And my team came to me and said, we'd rather do the extra work ourselves than take on someone that will bring us down. So Becky has taken up slack. Everybody has taken up slack until this person came along. And I just think it's so important that I also have Steve do a disc profile on them to see if they're a fit for the job. And I've had more family members reach out to me. I've had friends reach out to me. And to me, the Lord gave me this company. He entrusted me with it. And he expects me to be responsible with it. And so I set all feelings aside when it comes to employees and how the business is run, because I don't see it as mine, I see it as his. And so I take that very seriously when it comes to the business itself. Now, I don't necessarily lead my life like that, But when it comes to the business,
Yeah.
I'm very,
There's a different
yes, there's
Michelle when business is involved.
100%.
You've been in business for almost 20 years. Next year's
Yes.
20 years. What are you most proud of in those 20 years?
That I can say I'm going to be 20 years old next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Statistically rare.
Yeah, it's statistic. And to say that I have increased sales every single year for 20 years. How many people can say that?
Not many.
That's a God thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this economy, in this day and time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this year, last month, October 2025, we had more sales in 1 month than we've ever had. We had more sales in October than I had probably up until the first 4 years of business.
Yeah.
In 1 month.
Being sort of, I don't use the word middleman derogatorily, but you're not making the product.
No.
Have you had problems with not being the producer of the product?
Doesn't sound like it, does it?
No, but it just seems like it would happen at some
Yes,
point.
but what you have to understand is if you were to go, you personally were to go to Martha White, let's just say, because it's local, and want to buy a bag of pancake mix or whatever, they're going to charge you a lot at the plant. They don't want to deal with you. But if you go to Walmart, you can buy it for nothing.
When it comes to keeping your home comfortable and safe, trust the team that's been serving West Tennessee since 1999. Tim Ferguson Plumbing, Air, and Electric. With locations in Jackson and Memphis, Tim Ferguson offers complete home solutions for heating and cooling, indoor air quality, plumbing, whole home generators, and electrical. Their highly trained technicians are ready for any project, big or small. When you work with Tim Ferguson, you will always get honest, upfront pricing and financing options to fit your budget. From the team at Tim Ferguson, we are here when you need us. Keep your home running right with Tim Ferguson Plumbing, Air, and Electric. Visit timfergusonplumbing.com to schedule your service today. You might not know that I started my educational journey at a community college right after high school, which allowed me to have some time to make decisions for my future and save a lot of money on gen ed classes. Jackson State Community College provides that opportunity and many others for students in West Tennessee. Visit jscc.edu to see all their educational and career building opportunities. Let's hit lightning round here. Is there a business book that you'd recommend?
Yes. When I worked for the manufacturer out of North Carolina, I went to a nurture seminar by Jeffrey Gitmore.
I have not heard of this one.
Okay. He is phenomenal. And so I bought a couple of his books there, and I've continued to buy them through the years. There's incredible sales tips. There's incredible testimonies of people, and I use them with my sales team. How important it is to have a relationship with your customer. That's the key ingredient.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When are you having the most fun in business?
Like today or?
Just in general.
In general? Just when my girls get sales and I see the numbers, and I'm just so proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we just signed another contract with Land O'Lakes. Like that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been selling to them for 15 years. I'm like, they're going to quit on us eventually. It's Land O'Lakes, but they hadn't quit on us yet.
Yeah, and getting to celebrate that with
other
people. If you had to start over again tomorrow in business, would you pursue thread again, or would you look at something else?
Oh, no. I would do thread 100 times over. I spent so much time in that plant. I got to see how it was made. I've seen things that people will never be able to see again, ever.
Yeah. That plant, it was a loss in the community when that was put down. Okay, so if you had someone come to you that's like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business, what would be the first tip that you would want to give them?
Pray. Pray hard. And let the Lord lead you to what he wants you to do. There's decisions I wanted to make, and I prayed about it, and the Lord was like, you don't need to do that. And I didn't, and he has rewarded me continuously for following his leadership, not mine.
If you were mentoring someone who's already started a business, what would you focus on with them? What area would you want to help them develop?
Relationships. I think relationships, that's a big part of who we are. How you treat your customers. Customers are always right, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I will give you an order before I will lose your business, because people remember, people talk. And what you leave behind will either make you or break you.
And when you talk about relationships with clients, is it just answering the phone or what?
No, we get their birthdays. We send birthday cards. We send thank you notes for every order that we receive. We had a guy call last week, and he said, and Kennedy sent this out to the team. He said, and he was with Orlando Lakes, and he said, I've done business with a lot of people through the years. And actually, this guy was one of my customers, so he's been around a long time. He said, your company is so unique. He said, there's not anybody I do business with that I know I can count on, but I can always count on you. I've driven thread to plants. I mean, and there's no plants local. I've gone hundreds of miles. I even went to a company in Delaware that owed me money and pulled up at the front door, and he said, I'll give you the truck in the front yard if you want the truck. And I said, no, I just want you to pay your bill. I just want you to see my face and know that I'm a real person. I'm trying to feed my family.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to relationships, how you treat people.
What would be if you had to think back, what has been the biggest thing, most important thing that you've done to improve your personal effectiveness at work?
Oh gosh. I mean, I know my team respects me. They know my faith is huge. They know that I don't make decisions lightly. They know I pray about 99% of what I do. And whether they like it or not, I think they know that. And so they trust me because of that.
Absolutely. What do you think the future looks like for your business and then for the industry of threads?
Oh, wow. It's grim.
Yeah?
It really is. A lot of stuff's going to glue and heat seal. We have seen some stuff come back. But I mean, and that's another testimony to this company is my manufacturers are like, we see a decrease every year in people manufacturing this product, different means of packaging. But yet your sales still increase. So, I mean, I really don't know what the future holds, but I'm not scared.
Yeah. What about for your business?
I hate to say I live one day at a time, but nobody knows what tomorrow holds.
Absolutely.
And I just do the best I can do every day and trust that, I know he's going to take care of us. And there's 7 of us. And they all need to work. And so I just pray that we continue. The Lord amazes me every day. And he's provided. And honestly, right now, I truly have a dream team. I have the team that anybody could hope. They're amazing. I'm so excited about our team. And we're doing great things.
Yeah.
So
what do you hope your legacy will be?
I'm generous. I'm honest. And I try to always make good decisions. I haven't always done that in my life.
Who has?
Yeah, true. But you can trust me and I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you something just to make you smile and make you happy. I'm going to do that with my customers. I'm going to do that with my friends. They know if they ask me something, what I tell them is the truth.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and for sharing with us about a business that if someone doesn't know you, they might not know anything about.
Yeah.
And so that's I'm glad to be able to tell part of this story to the community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've had fun.
Me too.
Thank you for listening to 40 by 45, the West Tennessee Business Podcast. The best way to support the show is to tell others about it. The more downloads we get, the more likely we are to continue telling these stories. This series is produced by Adelsberger Marketing, recorded and edited by Jacob Beals, branding by Katie Howerton, motion graphics by Ricky Santos, and produced and hosted by me, Kevin Adelsberger. Special thanks to Eric Archer, who helped create Season 1 and set us on this course. If you're interested in creating a podcast for your business, connect with us at adelsbergermarketing.com. Thank you for listening.